This incident happened in May of this year. So why is it being brought up in November? This week on socials, I've been seeing everywhere about an incident with two, I'm going to call them content creators as opposed to influencers, mainly because the food that they review, they tend to purchase themselves. They're called, is it Bites? I've written it down, Bite Twice. They went to Borough Market. Now, Borough Market, as you know, is like a, world famous food market, not far from London Bridge. And they went there to review, I believe, different types of food, but they specifically reviewed humble crumble. Now, they gave humble crumble probably not the most favourable of reviews. And it seems that after they were, they filmed it and everything, they were, quote, thrown out. Now, what's interesting is, like I said at the beginning, this happened in May. Why is it coming up now? Maybe someone saw the video and just thought, oh, this is interesting. And maybe it was a slow news day and they thought they would bring this up. But it turned out that a lot of mainstream media were interested. It was in the Daily Mail, it was in the Times, it was in the Independent. And, this thing about all publicity is good publicity, the review must have been like, wow, they were being interviewed here, there and everywhere by mainstream media. But it's interesting because there are people who don't like influencers, food reviewers, food content creators. And they seem to be getting I say we because I'm a food content creator, seems to be getting a bit of a bad rap because it seems like people perceive a lot of us as just wanting free food. I'm talking from my point of view. There have been a couple of times when I have received free food to review, but I've never asked for it. I never go around saying, hey, I'm this content creator, I can do this for you, that for you, do you want to do a collab? I haven't got to that point yet, and I don't know if I ever would, because I would rather just buy something that I'm interested in reviewing and just review it. But there have been times that people have offered me cake to review. I'm like, okay, I'll review it, that's fine. But I don't go around asking for it. But I think there seems to be a bit of a tidal shift, because there's some content creators that have been kind of like called out for, like, actually, you're more like doing advertising, and there's nothing wrong with advertising, but you need to declare it. There are some content creators who do review, but they don't declare it as an ad, which is, as I've said in the previous video, is illegal. In terms of the Borough Market, I have seen at least one other food creator who was asked to leave. I think they're called Food Review Club. They're quite a big channel on here and all different socials. And I remember watching a video when they were reviewing, I don't think it was humble crumble, it might have been, or it might have been bread ahead, I can't remember, but I remember seeing the video, and because Borough Market is so well known, they have obviously security there. I think one of the security people asked them to leave. Now, I think when it comes to reviewing, if you're going in there with like a big old setup, I can understand, especially if you're going at the weekend, because the weekend is when Borough Market is really busy. But if you're going in there with just your phone or one of them little, DJI cameras, I don't see the issue, as long as you're not intrusive with your filming. This is the key, intrusive, because there's some people who film and they don't seem to care who they catch on film. When I film outside of my home, I'm very mindful of who and what I'm filming. I try not to have other people in the background. I'm just very mindful, but there's some people who kind of don't care. So yeah, I went to Borough Market's website to look to see what their policy is on filming, and there is a form for you to fill in, but this is if you're doing proper mainstream filming, like with professional cameras, lighting equipment, something completely different to going in with the camera. So there doesn't seem to be a policy for people like me, content creators, who tend to film on their cameras or the little sort of DJI cameras. Even though in a lot of the headlines they were saying that, oh, we're banning content creators from filming. it kind of turns out that that wasn't the case, and people were just saying that because Borough Market actually came out and said, no, we're not. We're going to be reviewing our policy, I think specifically for food content creators, but we're not banning them. There was actually an article, Hot Dinners, who actually spoke to the reviewers in question. I'll put a link in the comments, and they've actually been back to Borough Market since, but they've been back on different dates. I think Borough Market said, we don't have a problem with you filming, but be mindful of filming at the weekend. If you come during the week, it's a lot less busy and a lot less hassle. But with a lot of people like me, I can't go, if I was to be filming at Borough Market, I can't go there during the week. I have a day job, so the weekend is the only time. And I don't see the issue as long as you're not being disruptive and intrusive. So this is just kind of really blowing up. But I think there is a general kind of tide, and I'm saying this as someone who's a content creator, there is a kind of a tide turning against content creators, because I think some content creators are being a bit too, I'm going to say, egotistical, and think they're bigger than they are and have no respect. And that is an issue. Be respectful of what you're recording, who you're recording. Nothing wrong giving honest reviews, because I think a lot of people felt that they were these reviews was told to leave because they didn't give Humble Crumble a favourable review, and that could affect business. Everyone has their view of foods, whether you like it or not. You pay for the food. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It shouldn't be because it's a certain brand, it must be amazing and you must give them a good review. No. There's things that I've bought that other people have liked and I haven't liked. That's just my view. That's just my opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, what do you think about this whole situation with influencers and filming in public, etc.? Until next time, Kate lovers.